Good morning, everybody. I know it's been a long time coming, but as promised, this morning I'm going to show you how I make my bookmarks. So you're going to need, obviously, for this some card. So I like to use this one. It's the Paint on Mixed Media Multi Techniques paper. I love it. I use it for everything, pretty much. So then you're going to have to cut down your card. So I like to cut mine 7 inches by 2 inches. You can do them whatever size you want. For me, this just works out and I prefer it. You're also going to need some laminating pouches. These ones are matte. You can use the gloss ones as well. I kind of like the way the matte gives it that nice look. I'll just show you the difference. So this one was done with a matte finish and these were done with glossy finishes. Right. Again, matte finish, and a matte finish. So once you cut your card down, the next thing you're going to need is something to colour it with. Now I like to use distress spray stains. So we've got 3 here. These are the ones I mainly use to doing these. So I've got Wild Honey, Vintage Photo and Salvage Patina. You can also use Distress Oxide inks, Distress inks and the VersaFine Clear inks. You can use Brushos as well, which I used on these. So they are Brusho backgrounds. So again, well, however you want to create your background, you crack on and create it your way. This is just the way I like to do it. So once you've cut your 2 pieces of card down, you're going to need to create your backgrounds. Now I have done 2 earlier. This one was done with the inks and this one was done with the spray stains. I will show you both, but we will work on these because they're dry. Obviously you need to let things dry before you can work on them. So the first one we're going to do is the spray stains. So get your piece of card and pop a piece of tissue underneath because it is quite mucky. Move those out of the way a little bit. And all you do is you get your distress ink spray and you start spraying. And honestly, this is totally, it is random and it's totally up to you how you do it. Give it a little bit dark. Let me add a little bit of water. You don't have to, you can leave it, but I just like to mooch them around a little bit. And then we start moving it around. Hence why we have the tissue, because I'm just going to take some of that off and dry it. Okay, I'm going to turn that upside down, flatten that out a little bit. You don't have to, this is however you want to create your background. Give that a little bit more of that. A bit more of that. Not too much of that. Give that another dry. Chase that ink around. You can also go and give it a little bit more water if you want to. There we go. Turn that off now. Sorry, it's quite noisy. So there you go. So this does need to dry fully. This is now quite damp, but this card or paper, it really does hold the ink and the water well. There you go. So that's one background. First stage is done using inks. Pop that there. Get rid of that. And then your second one, the second one that I did to show you can use your Distress Oxide inks. And let's start with this one. This one's Rusty Hinge. I was going to ink my sponge up And we're just going to get some on here. Now for this one, I didn't use a mask on that because it's wet and it's just going to seep through. This is just a little bit of card that I've punched out. This is where the moon's going to go. So I'm just going to use that, hold that down, and just get that ink on there. Again, you can use whatever colour inks you want. I'm just trying to stick to pretty much three colours. So the next one, this one's Uncharted Mariner. I'll bring some of this in. It's like a bit of a moody sky. And I'm not being overly precious about the blending. Not for these. Let's just carry on and get that sky in. Again, this is just your background, because we will be working over the top of it. That's that one. And then I'm just going to add some of this Rustic Wilderness. Don't need that one there now. Down the bottom. Probably should have cleaned my fingers there, but never mind. We can disguise that later. So there we go. So we're just starting with a very simple background, and you can build that up with different colours and different layers. So I'm just going to actually use this rainforest, which you'll see is a darker green. Bring some of that into the bottom. Again, not worrying about my edges or depth particularly too much at the moment, because we will build onto that later. So that's it. That is as easy, I think, as it comes, just to create your first background. Okay, so let's take them away, move them to the side to let them dry, and I'll bring back in these two that I did earlier. There we go. So the next thing you're going to need is to start stamping. So let's move these out of my way, just over here. Put that back in there. Excuse me. So then you're going to need some stamps. So I've just picked a few here. I've got some wildflowers and grasses, some more wildflowers, and then a couple of my fairies and a fox. So we're going to start with the fox and just grab him off of here. Okay, find my block and pop him on there. Now for stamping, my favourite ink is Versifying Clair in Nocturne. I'm just going to ink him up. And we're going to start, leave that there because I can see, and just start stamping. And I hold it down for a little while so the ink soaks into your paper. There we go. That's the fox. Pop him away. And then I think I'm going to add a little bit of foliage here to start with. Bear with me while I grab some. This is a grass. Ink that up. I like to turn mine to the side just because I find it easier. Pop that down there. Just going to have a little bit, there we go, there. Then I would like some coming across the moon, so we're just going to pop another little bit up here. Now you can hear the dog barking. Get rid of that. And then It really is now just a case of thinking, what do you want where? Let's try some of this on the other side. There we go. Okay, that's that one. Just going to have another look and see if there's anything else. I quite like this other grass. Let's pop that on there. Ink that up. And we'll have that one there. And then you can just do a bit of a secondary stamping, which gives the illusion that your plants are in the background a little bit. There we go. So that's that bit done on him. I'm just going to pop him to the side and quickly stamp up the other one for you. Grab that. There we go. And on this one, I think I'm going to use a fairy. There we go. Just grab her. Is she going to fit on this block? Right, let's grab the other block. Excuse the state of my blocks. Ink her up. And then decide where you want your image to go. So I'm going to have her in front of the moon, right here. A little bit of pressure. Let that ink sink in. There we go. Lift that off, take that off of there. Pop her away. Then we're going to come back in with the foliage. So for this one, I think, decisions. I'm going to use this one. Go back to my other stamping block. I'm sorry if I'm working too quickly. I'm trying not to. I just kind of get on with it. So we just add some flowers in down the bottom here. And we'll find a different one just to fill in some gaps and give it a little bit more depth. I'll try this one maybe. No, we'll go grasses again because I do like the grasses. I'm just going to stamp that off a little bit and just add in a little bit of there we go. A bit more down here. Maybe a little bit more behind her feet. Well, so that's that bit done. Pop those away. So now you've got your two, let's change that piece of paper so you can see. Got your two pieces. That's the main part done. Now we can start thinking about building up a little bit of colour, and my preference is this one. So this is Versifying Clair Twilight. I love this, especially just for adding some depth. Let's get a little bit ink on my brush. Let's start with this one. Move that one out of the way. Take some of that off, and then we're just going to bring it in around the edges. camping it across the moon a little bit if you want. There we go. Yep, that's that one done. And then the same for this one. Oh, what have I done there? Never mind. A bit of ink on there. And we just bring that in around the edges. A little bit of depth and darkness, so the light is shining through. I'll do the same side. There we go. Now you could cover, I've obviously got a few little marks on here, you could cover these up with a tree or something. I got one handy. Let's try this one. I'll pop that on my big block, so it's just a tree and a few branches, whatever. And I ink this up. Bring these in over there. A little bit more ink. Yep, that's fine. That. Okay, there we have, turn that paper over again, your two bookmarks, but we can go a little bit further. Obviously, well, I like to add a little bit of depth, so we're going to use a smaller blending brush here, take some of that ink off, and we're just going to ground our fox so he doesn't look like he's sitting or floating in midair. That way we can also add just a little bit of shadow. There we are. So that's the main part done. I'll just get rid of some of this stuff now out of my way. Now, because this is going to go through a laminating machine, can't really add like too much like sticky glues and things, but you can foil. So what I like to do that, and very easy, quickie glue pen. Excuse me if my head gets in the way now. I'm just going to add some of this in a few places, wherever you want it really. Put some there, there. There we go, just a few little bits of, or dots of glue to start with. Move that out the way. Give that a quick blast, just so it's tacky, just to dry off some of that glue. I see it change colour. It's nice and clear. There we go. And my preference is you can use cheap nail foils. We use a silver one, or just cheap foils. I'm just going to add some of that. Do it on the right side, Karen. There we go. A little bit of foil. Give that a little bit of sparkle. Move those out of the way. Now I'm looking at her wings, and again, you can colour them however you want to colour them. But I have got here, this is Wink of Stella, which is gorgeous because it's just concentrated glitter. So I just go over her wings with this. And then to add a little bit of a glow, these are the soft pastel pencils. Where's my white? I'll grab the white. And I'm just going to add a little bit of a glow to her body. That's where the moonlight's catching her. You can also use like a white gel pen. Just get that on her like that. There you go. So this one's quite basic colour wise. So that's that one done. Grab my fox. So the fox, let's just get a little bit of highlight on him. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's that. And I do think maybe, just maybe, he needs to be looking at something other than the grass. Let's pop those away. See if I've got I have a couple of little butterflies. Probably don't get butterflies out that late at night, but who knows. So I'm just going to add my little butterfly to this. My ink. Ink that up. Let's give him a couple of little butterfly. Oh, I can do that one. There we go. One more. Right. So that's your two bookmarks. Again, you can go ahead, you can add your glitter, add your sparkle, however you want it to look. Like that. And then the next thing I'm going to do, no we're not, before I totally forget, that's what I'm really good at, piece of black card, because I like to back my bookmarks. Nice and simple. Bit of glue, not down, and I'm going to line that up as best as I can see. I really should put my glasses on. I have this awful habit of sitting here crafting and forgetting to put my glasses on. There we go, pop that one there. Line that up with the top one. Okay. Now what you're going to do is to trim them down. Normally I would use my guillotine, but it's too big to put on here. Glasses on. Now I have to remember. So I'm just going to trim this using scissors right up to the edge. Boom. There we go. And now you've got a nice little backing on them. You're going to grab your laminating sheet, which I've now covered in ink, but we're not going to overly worry about that. Oh no, there's another one now. Grab your laminating sheet, take these, put them inside, and then you're just going to run them through your laminator. Now, once your laminator's hot, I'm not doing that now, but I would run them in forwards, face up. When they've gone through, I would turn them over and run them in backwards. Okay, just so everything's sealed. You can even run A5 in that way as well, just to make sure everything's sealed. And once they're all sealed, you can use scissors. I prefer to use paper trimmer for cutting them down. So you would just cut them down, making sure that when you're cutting down, there's a little pocket on the side, not so much that one because I messed that one up. You just don't cut into the little pocket, so that way they're sealed in beautifully. Okay, so that's that. I will go ahead and laminate these later and put them up on the group to show you. And that's the two we've just made this morning. So I hope you enjoyed that. Any questions, please ask. I'm sorry if it was very speedy, but enjoy and happy crafting.